Hey, this is Steve Bloom, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited, episode 51.
Lean, mean, green, and on the screen.
Yeah, as you will notice in the art of the episode, if you happen to be looking on the website, I've changed the featured art as well as the podcast art to reflect the, more or less, the 1 year anniversary of the show. It's also to make a noted change in the show. There will be some new changes done after this episode. There's some other ones that I'm working on for later. Good changes, I hope. But yeah, that's what's in the works there. So, how have you been doing this week? In okay, small.
Well, yeah. Did you get my reference though? Please tell me you got the reference.
Mean.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted to make sure. I'm doing all right. Since last episode, my finger has somewhat healed. I'm still suffering horrible back pain that I'm on painkillers for, so there's that. I guess I'll go ahead and bring this up here. I wasn't gonna do this, but I'll bring it up. Over the last about the middle of July, I had to make a decision because my mom needed a whole bunch of stuff. We needed stuff, and my dog. We needed to raise money for my dog Snow White to get her biopsied because she has a whole bunch of lumps on her stomach and leg and everything else. And so you know this, even though I know you're not into it as much as I am, but since about 2009 I have been buying Callie Shoka's Puggle formers and Puggle little plush things. I've had this is the only way I could raise money to get the stuff that my mom needed and the dog needed. I've had to sell off the entire collection. I have 5 left. I thank everybody who has bought some from me. I've raised a total of, I think, just north of $700, which allowed us to be able to have food for the last 2 weeks. Mom got 2 new tires on her car, which she desperately needed. I'm still trying to raise money to get half of the dog's biopsy money. I have 5 Puggles left. They are $10 each. Plus shipping. I will ship to the U.S. and Canada only, and I'll have you put the link to where people can find the information for that in the show notes. But that's what I've been kind of dealing with this month. I'm like, I've had these things for years. I've had all the play value I could get out of them. I've enjoyed them as much as I can, and honestly, my mom's stuff and my dog's stuff takes more precedence over a bunch of plush things sitting on a shelf. No, and I already talked to Callie about it, and she said she was fine with it. And obviously, the coolest thing about this was, though, I actually among that total of money that I just mentioned, Jason Enright and Margaret Scott emailed me and said, "Hey, we saw your thing on Twitter. We're willing to help out." They actually allowed me to sell 3 sets of Windblade and Beast Hunters comics for $25 each. And that was very awesome of them. So thank you to them. And again, thank you to everybody who has helped out so far. It's just been a really, really rough time right now. As far as everything else, outside of my severe back pain, I've been doing pretty good. This week, actually, one of my favorite bands, Theory of a Dead Man, one of my only most favorite things from Canada, came out with their new album Savages, and I've been listening to the hell out of that. Supposedly Matrix Prime and I, from formerly TF Wire, he's got a new podcast coming out. Supposedly we're going to get together and do a review on it for GCR. What else is going on? Pullbags keeps coming strong. More M-Wires are going to be coming. Tooncast Beyond is going to be returning with Animation Direction Spotlight. Basically what that is we take one of the old directors and basically talk about their life and how they came up in animation and some of their famous works, etc., etc. People like Tex Avery and Chuck Jones and Walt Disney and Friz Freleng and Bill Melendez, people like that. So because of my finger injury last week and my back pain since last week into now, it took me all this time to finally write up my Naked Gun trilogy review for La La Land Records. I finally published that as we recorded this episode. This is amazing 3-disc set. It's awesome. It really, really is. But that's pretty much what I've been up to. What about you?
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting about Matrix Prime.
Yeah.
That's who I got started with podcasting.
Yes,
so
yes,
it
is.
Kind of nice.
We've had him on the network a couple of times.
I know on All Things Transformers.
On All Things Transformers.
Yep. So over the last week, actually last weekend, I did the Warrior Dash, which is a running and obstacle course that kind of travels around, and I did that with my wife, and it was actually kind of interesting because I wasn't sure how well I was going to do one way or the other because she works out and I do not.
Okay.
I am the lazy skinny geek with the insane metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
To the point I piss everybody off around me that knows me. And I literally don't have to put any effort into stuff like that. I'm able to just do it. So anyway, she did this whole thing by herself last year, and I kind of stood off to the side and held everything. Well, This year I had to make a separate key for my car that had no key fob attached because I have a 2005 Aveo, and the key fob is actually in the key. Mm-hmm. So I had to make a separate key so that I could carry it around, and I have this yellow, almost like an M&M mini container that I have this thing in, wrapped around my neck, which is actually under my shirt in the images that I have on my Facebook page, which I'll link to the gallery in the show notes. But we ran through this whole thing. There's 12 obstacles. It's like a 3 or 4 mile run between all of the obstacles, like all together. And we started off jogging and going through this whole thing, and my legs were burning so bad because I didn't realize how bad my legs were hurting until we stopped running or jogging for the first and second obstacle. And I was like, wow, this hurts so bad. And she's like, oh, I'm fine. And I'm like, yeah, you're an ass. And so we were going through it. And a lot of the obstacles, because I can climb really well. I have a lot of upper body strength, and she does not. She has more lower body strength for running and everything else. So I'm sitting here, and a lot of these, you have to use your upper body strength to pull yourself up or climb stuff or go over and under things. And they had a lot of wooden built obstacles that you had to climb over.
Wait. Repeat what you just said because you broke up.
Though there were a lot of wooden obstacles to go under and over. And I can spider monkey through everything, and I pretty much climb. And I have such long legs, I can just kind of hop over things. So I cheated in that aspect. But they had trenches you had to go through. They had you had to jump over a big charcoal flame thing that they had set up. You had to swim through a lake to a couple of buoys that were out in the middle, and I had to help Mary climb over them because it was hard enough for me to do it by myself to climb up on these things, and it's hard enough to keep your balance on them as well. But I have long arms, so I was able to pull myself. She does not, so I had to help her get up over that. And then we got across that, and they have this natural man-made lake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not man-made lake, swamp. About halfway through, and it smells like freaking raw sewage. It was disgusting because she smelled horrible from it last year, and I was dreading this part. This was really the only thing I was dreading is the mud, because I don't like to get dirty.
Yeah.
Just one of those weird OCD things. It bothers me. So it's about a 3-foot drop into like this muddy water type stuff, but it's still water. It's just dirty colored.
Mm-hmm.
I got this bright idea. I'm gonna walk around it.
Oh, jeez.
And it's all mud. But I thought it was going to withstand and my shoe wouldn't pop off. So I lost my shoe in part of the mud, and I lost my balance, and rather than get my entire body in it, I shoved my foot down, which had my sock. And at that point, I was like, you know what? The sock's ruined. I'm going to have to throw it away anyway by the end of this, because I had all throwaway clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I shoved my foot back in the shoe after ripping my sock off and just leaving it in the mud. And I went through the water part. And she's laughing hysterically at me this entire time. And I got through it and everything. And I had a white t-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is white pretty much throughout the entire obstacle course, and she had a orangish workout shirt on. And the last obstacle, after going through this, like, you have to climb this wall with rope and then go across these beams where they're shooting water at you, and then you go down a water slide into this water lake type thing that's man-made, and then they have you go underneath barbed wire in this muddy water.
Mm-hmm.
Which is only probably about 1.5 feet off the ground is how high the water goes, and the barbed wire's at like the 2-foot mark. So you literally have half a foot to keep your head underneath the barbed wire but not go underwater.
Oh my god.
And I'm trying not to get my face in the water and not hit the barbed wire at the same time. So my shirt comes out brown by the end of this. You cannot see the logos on it at all.
Wait.
Shirt.
Wait. What shirt were you wearing?
I was wearing like a Sherwin-Williams shirt.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
So it was a throwaway anyway. It was something I use when I paint and stuff. So it was a throwaway. But I was surprised up until that point. It was still white, and then after that, you couldn't tell what it was anymore. I did, we both got through it almost like just about under an hour, and then. They have like this giant sprinkler system where they have semis with tanks of water, and then they just hose you off, and then you're in standing mud water. That's probably about halfway up your calf. So, and you're rinsing off this nasty muck, and so yeah, it was fun, but it was filthy. But I mean, it wasn't terribly bad. I hurt like hell though for 2 days afterward.
Wow.
For like Monday and Tuesday this week, I could not barely walk. I can only now just get back to normal, but roundabout way of getting into something you were talking about with your finger and your back hurting. Mary works out, like I said, so she went to go work out the other day and popped her back.
Oh, jeez.
So she had to go to the chiropractor, get it straightened out, and then so the last 2 days she went to the chiropractor and got that straightened out. And then she's got this bum toe that every now and again something hits it. Well, I happen to be that something.
What'd she do? Kick you?
No. She was turning around and my toe happened to hit her toe.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of an accident thing, but it happened 20 minutes before the record.
Oh, jeez.
Today.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, she was like, "Oh my god, you broke my toe," and I'm like, "I didn't break your toe." I'm like, "Sorry," and I'm laughing at her, which is horrible.
God.
But
yes,
but yeah, so that's how the whole Warrior Dash thing went, and then of course I've been doing art stuff and watching funny videos of certain characters and pilots and other SDCC stuff. So
I will say one other thing on the music front. I don't know. I have been, even though it's not on right now, it's coming back soon. I did watch a good majority of The Voice season 6, and there was one artist on there that I remember. She actually got her kind of start on YouTube, and I remember seeing her on several Disney Channel, like Disney 365 or whatever they do on Disney Channel, like to promote certain things. Called her name is Christina Grimmie, and she just released a new single as of this recording called "Must Be Love." I found out about it last night, and I had my headphones on. I had this, like, I literally was making myself go deaf because this song is so cool. The music under the lyrics is amazing. Oh boy! All right, so let's see what else is going on. Yeah, I think we need to get into some news.
I think so too. So we're going to be back right after this quick break.
People hear you talking like that, get everybody fired up. It's my shit, it's my shit. When I said I ate some bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Oh, hello there. I bet you're wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. Hey! Let's hope these guys are wearing their brown pants. Hola! Me llamo Vecina de la Muerta. There's no easy way to say this. I'm pregnant, Trevor.
Rich Corinthian leather.
Bitch! Excuse, por favor. Ow, 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 ow. Damn! I wish I was out. You're right. Rhymes the disease. Meet the cure. Okay, not the cure, but more like a topical ointment that reduces swelling and itch. Hi, Tom.
Just call me Angel.
Oh, fuck me.
Alrighty then, so we're going to do a kind of quick overview of a lot of the stuff that's popped out between Sdcc and some other stuff. If you want to know the remainder of stuff that we were going to talk about, that will be on the show notes on the website. I'm going to start out with the TV division very briefly. Did you see the WB logos?
Yeah.
Based on what series that they're going to be in.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of inventive how they're tailoring it towards each type of show.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah,
especially like the Flash one.
Yeah, the DC logos, but they've been doing that though.
Well, no, I mean the WB logo.
Oh, okay.
How they put it in there, like how they have the effect around it, like the Gotham one. It's just dark and murky and everything, but the Arrow, you have arrows flying in front of it, and then it goes to the DC thing. But the Flash one, it's like electrical, and it's got the kind of the reddish lightning hue around it. And
yeah, that was awesome.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And then of course, there's a plethora of characters that they're talking about having in Arrow and the Flash that I'm not going to get into, but
I will say that I have only seen the news article. I haven't actually clicked on it, but I do know that they do have Raish. I know they have Raish, but they call him Raz. It's Raish, people. Listen to the DC Animated Universe. It's Raish Al Ghul, not Raz.
I think they took that from the Nolan verse, though.
Yeah,
Raz, which is crap.
Even the Nolan verse is wrong.
But anyways, they have Raish. The only thing I have a problem with Arrow about is, just about all of his villains and rogue gallery is Batman's. I'm not saying that they can't be anybody else's, but they're primarily Batman's.
That's because
like the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul and the Clock King and so on. I mean, Deathstroke, he's kind of everybody's problem, and then the Suicide Squad's kind of everybody's problem, and so on. But I think it more so bothers me about it, and I understand that Arrow's basically their Batman on the network, but
I think the reason why they've gravitated towards throwing Batman villains in there is because, at least as far as I know, people can correct me in the comments, Green Arrow doesn't have a huge rogues gallery. I mean, I know he fights Count Vertigo a lot. And honestly, that's the only one I can really think of. I do like the new twist on Vertigo that they've done in Arrow. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I still need to see Season 2. Not that I'm not wanting to do so, but I'm waiting for a certain video service, which I will not name to avoid spammers, to add it to their queue for people to watch, be able to watch on that. But I
will say Season 2 is infinitely better than Season 1. That's what myself and Mike Powers have been saying.
Yeah,
since...
I mean, I liked Season 1. Season 1 was, it was the first, well, obviously it was the first season, but it was, I think that whole season was a test to see, I mean, it had a good story. The execution was okay, but it was kind of a test for WB and CW and DC to see how well people were going to like or honestly dislike the series and see what happens. So yeah, but yeah, Arrow. It's interesting that they're bringing all these Bat villains in.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
I really do like Arrow a lot, and despite my little pet peeves here or there, I can't knock it. So there's that, and then of course, can't mention Arrow without mentioning its spin-off series, The Flash.
Oh my God!
We're going to talk about it some on here. We can always go more in detail with it when Mike Powers is back.
Yeah, when Mike's back.
But well, first of all, I've seen the pilot.
So have I.
And so has he. What were your initial thoughts about it?
Okay, let me just say this. I think it was last week I asked Mike the question, didn't they show the entire pilot in that 5-minute preview that they had released a while ago? And he said, yeah, pretty much. Not really. I mean, now that I've seen the pilot, that 5-minute preview, it's got hints at beats of what happens in the actual pilot, but I got to say, though, I love that 5-minute preview. As far as the pilot itself, it's awesome. I mean, this is the first Flash show, or the only Flash show outside of the Flash being in animation that I've actually cared about. I'm not sure I really... I don't know. I'm not sure where it's going to go, because if this kid is Barry Allen, there's another character in this pilot that at the end of the show, I'm not going to spoil it, but at the end of the show, he reveals something about himself, and I just got so confused. I need to see more of the show to find out what the hell is going on with this character. The funny thing about this show is it has Jesse L. Martin of Law and Order fame, as in Law and Order he played Detective Ed Green, as a cop in this, and I found that hilariously awesome, because I had been watching him on Law and Order for years. The villain in the pilot, it was pretty good. It was interesting. They kept saying, "Oh, he can change the weather. He can do." I thought they were going to make him Weather Wizard. I honestly did. love the effects. I love the chemistry between all the characters. I thought that was really cool. Um, it's uh, the the Flash pilot is a lot more lighthearted. It's serious, but it's a lot more lighthearted than the Arrow pilot was for season one. So I mean, I liked it. What about you?
I really liked it too. I was not aware of because I hadn't seen the original Flash TV show in 1990, so I wasn't sure who actually played the Flash then. I didn't know that it was actually Barry Allen's dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In the show. I thought it was Tom Cavanaugh,
Oh,
and it's not.
yeah.
There is something with Tom Cavanaugh at the end that makes me think that he could be the Flash.
That's what I was alluding to.
Based on the picture
Yeah.
that is shown,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be him when he's older.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell.
Or if that's, or if he's, from the future knows something, or if, I without going too much into detail, this is my theory on it. I think that it's actually Barry Allen when he's older.
Could be.
That's being his mentor in the past. And something must have happened, and that's why he thinks that he shouldn't be a hero. So, but that's just my initial thoughts. But I could be wrong. It could be just an elaborate ploy, just with wordplay.
I'm not sure what it is. It hooked me because I now want to see more of it. I mean,
Let's put it this way. My wife cannot stand... She hates Arrow. Because it has the Batman complex. She hates Batman. Because Batman has no powers. And this is how she's... I would say she's more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan.
Okay.
Which has only started to come out since the movies.
Mm-hmm.
She likes, like the Wolverine. She likes Iron Man especially. I mean, who doesn't like Iron Man? Especially because it's Robert Downey Jr., so everybody likes it. But she's like, how is Batman going to beat Superman? Superman has powers. That's like her explanation for everything. Well, they have powers. Batman doesn't. They have powers. Batman doesn't.
No,
I'm like,
Batman...
well, Tony Stark doesn't have powers. He has a suit. Yeah. And she's like, but it has abilities, and Batman's wearing just a suit.
Well,
and I said, but Batman has other suits, just like Iron Man does. And she's like, he still has no powers.
Yes, he does. He does have a power.
And I said, he's the greatest detective alive. And she's like, yeah, well, Tony Stark can build things. and outmaneuver him. And I'm like, okay, there's definitely not a winning situation here. So, but, and I said, Batman can take down Superman because he carries kryptonite on his belt. And she's like, well, what if he doesn't have the kryptonite? I says, Batman's always prepared. Yeah. And so that started another pissing contest with it.
Here's the thing, though. Bruce Wayne Batman. I'm actually going to quote Amanda Waller here when she says in epilogue, she says to Terry McGinnis, "You may not have his magnificent brain, but you have his heart." And that's, the thing about Batman, sure, he, Bruce Wayne was traumatized as a child. He didn't want, we all know that story. Yada, yada, yada. And Batman is one of us. He is a human. He doesn't need...
So you're trying to say that Tony Stark isn't human because he doesn't have a real heart?
No.
Because he's got metal in it, so he's got my machine.
No, I'm saying...
You could tell I was waiting on that.
Yeah, you jerk. I'm saying that... Not counting Tony... Batman versus superpowered beings. Batman versus Superman. Batman versus Wonder Woman. Batman versus the Martian Manhunter, for crap's sake. Batman versus the superpowered beings, not the billionaire philanthropist, playboys. He can outwit them. He has a plan. He has a contingency plan for every single member of the Justice League to neutralize them if need be.
Which is good.
Exactly.
But, yeah. And I tried telling her that, too, and she's like, oh, horse crap. I was like, I'm not winning this. And but she liked the Flash pilot because I showed it to her, and I says, now, does this interest you at all? And she's like, yes.
Because the dude has powers. That's why she's interested.
Yep. So she's like, it has powers, so I liked it. And I was like, you're an ass. And I said, I figured you would like it. I said, but you're an ass. So.
Oh, crap.
But, yeah, so then moving on to tech, I was kind of doing a little bit of dabbling in this, just looking around through things. And there's this thing that I saw that's on Kickstarter, and it's called Pressy. And it's like a Android programmable button that you can actually plug into your headphone jack of your smartphone. And it allows you to, with the software, program, how many clicks in a row kind of thing, or it's almost like, it looks like a Morse code type thing. You can, set it to turn on and off a flashlight, or turn on silent mode, or, start a recording, or just you can program it to do anything.
Things you can program to do anything are amazing.
But you can attach it to your like key ring and everything else, and you don't actually have to touch your phone or take your phone out.
Awesome.
So it's kind of a neat concept, actually. I wouldn't mind trying it. I don't really want to buy one right now. But it does look kind of neat. And it's just you press the button on your keyring, and it does its thing on your phone, and never have to take your phone out. Just, it's kind of an inventive idea, anyway. A couple other things.
Oh my god!
What's your comment? The board cube mini fridge.
Resistance is futile. That's something Arnold Schwarzenegger would say.
Well, and the funny thing is the outside of it glows green.
It's
like this fridge, and it fits 9 cans of pop stacked up inside it.
That's all. That's a waste of money.
Well, it's it's meant for dorm room people and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I mean, like, honestly, if I had enough pop or space in my office, I would put it next to my computer tower because it just looks cool. I would so do that. My wife would never let me have it, but I would so do that. So yeah, there's that, and then I think we'll jump over to some kind of miscellaneous before getting to the SDCC stuff.
Okay.
Did you know that Weird Al didn't? His label refused to pay for his music videos.
That's ridiculous.
Which is funny because that's what sold the disc and made it go to number 1 on the top 200.
Yeah, that's just
because he did this whole marketing scheme with all the videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know the marketing scheme. I was looking at the article. That's just sad, dude. I mean, honestly, that's if you're putting out a new record for a label and for yourself, but if it's all records obviously are under a label unless you produce it yourself and put it out, on your own. They should get behind. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
Yep. But
so
yeah, and then I saw some kind of an article about Cumberbatch possibly having room for Khan to return in Star Trek 2016, which is 3, and I'm like, why? No. I mean, granted, it's going to have different direction this time, but it's still going to be the same damn writer that's directing it. So as good as he did playing the character, I hated Into Darkness. It was so flawed for a Star Trek film. It was a damn Star Wars movie. It wasn't even a Star Trek film. But anyways, I'd rather see them just do something new.
Yeah.
Rather than retread. I mean, granted, that would be something new is bringing him back, but I would rather them, do something different.
Or after the third film, hell, scrap the third film, scrap what it's whatever it's going to be now, and just make the third film Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. Scrap the entire cast they have now and just do another universe movie.
They won't do that.
I know they won't.
They're having fun with this
I
universe.
know they won't do that.
They should bring the Borg into the original series. Boom. Or Q.
Okay, Q. I can agree with. I don't know about the Borg though.
That would be kind of messed up though, having them going, this early into the Federation.
Yeah, because at that point, Kirk is gonna basically, if they bring the Borg into Star Trek 3, you know what's gonna happen?
You will have your cutis of Borg.
Well, there's that, but also it's going to have some sort of time paradox where Kirk has to contact old man Picard, and it's going to be young.
No,
it's going to be young.
It's completely different universe.
Uh-huh.
It's a completely different universe.
I know it is, but I'm just saying.
So there's no way for them to contact. The only one that would know would be old man Spock, and that's just getting old.
Yeah.
That's why you need Q to show up and be like, yo, what's up? I'll save you. Give me a quarter. Sorry.
No, it just said give me a quarter. It reminds me of that scene in Friday where one of the characters, Ezel, slips and falls in the store and tries to say, ow, my neck, my back. I want $150,000. Well, set out of court right now for $20.
Speaking of Q, though, in the original series, I think what gave me the idea is they're actually doing that in the IDW comics.
Ah, interesting.
They're actually having Q go into the original series of this new continuity to screw with them.
Oh, Lord.
And it's supposed to be basically, it takes place after the more or less prequel comic to the Star Trek 2009 reboot. It's more or less a sequel, and it shows Picard standing on the Enterprise E with Captain Data, and Picard is an ambassador to Vulcan at this point, and Q appears and starts harassing him and telling him how much he likes the ambassador garb rather than the captain clothes. And then knows that Spock is missing and everybody's mourning his death, and he's like, oh, he's not dead, he's in another continuity. And they're like, what? And then Q says something, and Picard's like, you stay out of that. And Q's like, oh, what would be the fun in that? And he disappears. So he's going to torment another crew. So I'm actually going to probably pick those up because that just looks interesting to me.
Absolutely.
Switching gears again,
yes.
I think we'll talk about a toy. More specifically, TMNT Classics.
Yep.
There's one in particular that I want. Badly.
It's a brain that lives in your stomach.
Yeah, I know that they're bringing Bebop and Rocksteady to the rebooted cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to come into play into that.
I will.
I don't know who they're going to be before that.
Well,
that's more or less.
Have you? I'm trying to think which episode. There was an episode recently in season 2 where we see this guy who can go invisible into walls, and he's wearing all black. He's got purple glasses, and he's got a purple mohawk. So I assume I'm just assuming. I don't know for sure. I assume that's the human version of Bebop.
Could be.
I don't know. I'm hoping it kind of is, because it's kind of a cool, different direction for Bebop as far as his original human design. I will say that I just finished recording the IDW Turtles City Fall Part 2 and Villains Micro Series Volume 2 with Joe Reed of Off the Cuff. And the origin that IDW gives Bebop and Rocksteady is amazing. It is so awesome. I will. I'll have to get you that issue so you can read it because you're really gonna like it. But yeah, I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady. I so can't wait for what they're gonna do in season 3. I saw the Comic-Con panel of the Nick Turtles, and Seth Green was there because Seth Green is going to be the new Leonardo voice. I don't have a problem with it, honestly. I mean, it's gonna be different. I don't know how in the writing they're gonna be able to explain if Leo's personality changes because of Seth's voice. But I still love that show.
Well, you got to remember too, Seth Green has been doing animation.
Oh, I know.
For a long time, and he's doing Family Guy and Robot Chicken, and so I mean, I have complete confidence in.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I think he'll be able to put his own spin on doing the other voice, but I look forward to seeing what the change is.
I mean, I'm not super concerned about it. I'm just saying that I'm a little like a fraction of a hair concerned because at this point we've got a season and a half under our belts with Jason Biggs as Leo, and all as I'm saying is, are they going to do? I hope to God they do this. I don't think they will, but I hope to God they will. Are they going to do like what they do in the soaps? Leonardo is now being played by Seth. Some voiceover announcer comes on. Leonardo is now being voiced by Seth Green. They probably won't do that, but I'm just interested in seeing how, if at all, they explain it.
And it's funny because they have like a future wave of the Turtles, and then they have like the 3 different Leonardos. Mm-hmm. They do this with all of them. I'm thinking, but. They have the 87 Leonardo toy.
Yep.
They have the 2012 Leo, and then they have like the 2014 comic book version.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. I'm mostly looking forward to the new Krang.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really that much bigger than the toys. It's a lot more detail and articulation than the old 6-inch one that they did back in the mid-90s. And the 10-inch one that I have still. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, very cool.
And then, of course, the leaked Deadpool video, which I honestly find kind of humorous that it was leaked, and then every time you go to pull it up on YouTube, it says 20th Century Fox has removed it.
Right.
Which tells me that it purposely wasn't leaked,
yeah.
But I think it may have been leaked on purpose too, to gauge interest.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are ranting and raving over this thing like they're just wanting it.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I'm not a per se fan of Deadpool because I don't know that much about him. Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen from the video game footage, because I have watched a lot of the footage from the video game on YouTube, and because of this video, it has me intrigued that if they did do this with Ryan Reynolds, it would be a hit because of the way the character is. It's basically his persona.
Now, everyone knows, at least everyone that has been listening to the GCRN for the last 5 years knows, I am no fan of Ryan Reynolds in a lot of the things he does. I think there's probably...
You like Safe House, that's about it.
Well, I did enjoy the first Van Wilder. But after
that was the real Van Wilder.
Yeah, after I saw that and some other stuff, I'm like, oh, he's just copying that. While I'm not the biggest fan of Ryan Reynolds, I did like him in Safe House, as you said, but I friggin' couldn't stop laughing at this Deadpool footage. And it says here that he is announced as Deadpool. It doesn't say that he is confirmed, but it says he's announced. So
I just hope that they actually do this video.
Yeah.
Or do this movie. Because I would love to see this.
Yep.
Especially how it turned out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things. I actually reposted it on my Facebook page the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And because nobody could get their hands on it, there were multiple sharing my video. And it went around for a while. I was getting notifications for a bit, but it was kind of funny. But I love that video.
Yeah.
Between the him singing at the beginning going, "Oh, hi," and then, do you know why bad guys, or why I'm wearing red? It's so the bad guys don't see me bleed. Hopefully they're wearing their brown pants today.
Yeah.
Or like the I have something to tell you, Trevor. I'm pregnant. And then he starts bopping people. And or when trying to sing, and then he gets his head beat, or he's before, when the vehicle topples over and he's got the picture of himself pounding a guy.
Yeah.
Which is what he was drawing before he went down.
Yeah.
And then he shows it to the guy before he does his action to him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the ending where he just randomly starts talking about the cure, and he says, well, more like a topical ointment that reduces swelling. And then he says, hi, Tom, just out of nowhere. And then at the end is like, fuck me.
The one thing that I caught out of all of his references was, ooh, rich Corinthian leather. He says it just like Hamill said it as the Joker in World's Finest when he gets into Lex Luthor's limo. I thought that was hilarious too. But yeah, no, I'm not a Deadpool fan. I don't know much about him like you, and I'm not sure I want to go back and research in the comics for the pull bag. I don't know yet, but this little leaked footage, like, this is more than this is more leaked footage than what we got in the actual real teaser of a certain movie. But it was awesome. The Deadpool stuff was awesome. It was great.
Well, not only that, but it was clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there was actually voicing done to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more excited that if this became a movie, than any of the other superhero stuff that's popping up right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a huge Deadpool fan because I don't know anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
But although if people do know some good titles for Deadpool, please feel free to let us know, because I would like to check some out based on just the fact that I've just watched this and then part of his video game footage and found all of it completely humorous.
I believe the current Deadpool is something that a lot of people have really praised. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I believe the most current one has been really, really good. But I'm not sure.
I'll have to pick up a trade.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks interesting. Moving into some SDCC.
Should we just get the big BS out of the way first?
Yeah, we can move to the bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry.
You said it, not me.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
It's the Batman vs Superman footage, which they played, I guess, twice at SDCC, and then told everybody else, here's the finger. You're not getting to see it ever. Except YouTube seems to be a pretty popular place, except for when WB takes it down. Which I also have a copy of that too. Actually, 4 of them. Different angles. So, yeah, that took me a while to get. And when I say a while, I mean like 30 minutes. But anyways, I basically the description that everybody's getting, I may put that up as like a private video thing so it doesn't get taken down and kind of hint, hint, wink, wink in the episode. But I really don't think anybody really cares because all it is Batman standing there. You see the fact that it's armored. There's lightning out. He turns on the bat signal. The bat signal goes into the sky. It's the Dark Knight bat signal, and then it's Superman standing in the sky, and then his eyes glow red, and then the Batman vs Superman logo. Boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular. The only good thing out of the whole video was seeing Batman wearing the battle armor that he does in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Returns. And that was it.
I'm glad there's a teaser finally, so we can stop bitching about the fact that there's no teaser.
Yep. I think the more important thing out of that film was the Wonder Woman costume.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman costume. Everybody that I've seen on the internet has been bitching about. Oh, it's not Linda Carter's. It's people. This is the Nolan verse Zack Snyder.
It's more practical than the Linda Carter one.
Yeah.
Because that one kind of went with the Adam West Batman suit.
No. But people are bitching and complaining that it's not the Linda Carter suit. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is... And I know Nolan doesn't have much to do with this anymore, but, Nolan was a producer on Man of Steel. He did the first... he did the Dark Knight trilogy. So he really kind of created this whole dark, like, real-world kind of costuming for the characters. And that's really where this new Wonder Woman costume kind of comes from, is that kind of influence. I don't mind it. I think it looks good. I think it looks cool.
I mean, I think always having Xena Warrior Princess in a Batman movie is good.
I said to somebody the other day, I said, as much as I don't mind Gail, I can't pronounce her last name properly, whatever her last name is, I don't mind her being Wonder Woman, but you know what really seriously would have been awesome is if they actually got Lucy Lawless to do it.
Well, she's actually going to be an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's true.
So you'll get to see her kick ass there because she's another secret agent on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of pumped to see. I'm more so glad that they showed Wonder Woman finally. And I think if they were to actually, speed track a Wonder Woman movie, they might actually kick Marvel's ass in one department, and that's having a female superhero that actually means something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying Marvel doesn't have any that they have had buddy up with other people in their films, but they haven't had a solo film either.
Right.
And the Wonder Woman thing is long overdue.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that turns out all right too, and to some degree.
I have I kind of pointed this out on talking about my generation with Doug Abel when we did our wrap up of San Diego Comic-Con. Why would you have a panel for this movie? Have Zack Snyder come out, have him bring out Cavill, Batfleck, and Wonder Woman, and just stand there and say, "Oh, here's our Trinity. We got to get back to filming the movie now. Bye." Why would you fill an entire room at San Diego Comic-Con for the 3 cast members didn't even say a word? Zack Snyder, I don't get that.
But it generated enough media buzz, and that's what they were trying to do, is get the buzz by having them all there, and then play the clip twice, and then saying, "Get out."
So you know what? All is they really had to do, instead of wasting people's time at Comic-Con doing that, all is they'd have to do is stand outside the San Diego Convention Center where you clearly see San Diego Comic-Con on the thing, have a TMZ video crew and say, "Hey, here you go. You'd get 1 million more hits." I don't know. That just kind of... As someone who's never been to Comic-Con, I would like to go. I know I would never be able to fit everything into San Diego Comic-Con, but I would like to go eventually one of these days, but after this year and all the horror stories I've heard about actually being at the con, I don't think I ever want to go. And I would definitely not, just to get a glimpse and not even hear anything from the actors, I would not waste my time going to that.
Well, and the thing is like they had the, like the Marvel thing, and then they brought everybody out, sat them down, went through like 15 minutes of questions, and then that was it.
But at least that's something. That's
yeah.
better.
They all got to talk, and
Yeah.
then they introduced Thanos, who is Josh Brolin.
Yeah. At least that is 15 minutes of question and answer is better than Zack Snyder coming out, introducing all three of them, and saying, "Oh, yep, bye. You don't get to do anything." Whatever. All right. So what are we talking about next?
Well, just slight sidestep. Myself and Mike Powers successfully predicted in Altered Geek episode 1 the new Batsuit. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
Everything to a T.
Yep.
Moving on. They had Shout Factory with Weird Al for UHF.
25th anniversary Blu-ray.
Which I didn't even think it's been that long, but it has.
Yep.
Kind of exciting. I like that movie.
I still haven't seen it.
Really?
Yep. I it's not that I dislike it. It's just it was never on my radar back in the day.
Oh yeah, you weren't a Weird Al fan.
Well,
You didn't grow up one. That's what I meant.
yeah, I found out about Weird Al somewhere around 1994. So, and I kind of knew because I had the original Transformers the movie original soundtrack disc, which I actually still have, which is signed by both Stan Bush and Vince DiCola.
I need Weird Al. Then you could dare to be stupid.
Yeah. I kind of knew it was Weird Al as a kid doing Dare to Be Stupid. But it wasn't until the mid-90s that I really found out about his other stuff. I like his stuff. I don't dislike the guy. And I've always heard about UHF and how awesome it is and everything else. It just never been on my radar.
Yep. And then, of course, they kind of teased Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Which has, like, dinosaurs and...
Yeah, it's going to focus on Trixie, the Triceratops.
Which, whatever. I'm kind of surprised that they, did the Toy Story 3 to begin with and had, Tim Allen and Tom Hanks and everybody. And, I mean, they're getting so old now at this point. I mean, granted, it doesn't matter in voiceover, but...
No.
It's more so wrangling them down.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. I'm always a fan of Toy Story, so hopefully they don't do it wrong.
I don't think they will, and it's meant to be a short anyway. It's meant to be like Hawaiian Vacation and Partysaurus Rex. It's meant to be a short, like the Cars tunes, Mater's Tall Tales. So it's not like this is the next feature. It's not like this is Toy Story 4. The time Toy forgot her. It's not like a new film. And honestly, I don't even know what they would do for a Toy Story 4 because of how well and how emotional Toy Story 3 ended. I mean, it was an amazing try. The second one was a little... But, I mean, overall, all three movies put together, it was an amazing trilogy of toy films. I mean,
well, in Toy Story 3, I think kind of putting the button on the franchise, it doesn't need another film.
Yeah, pretty much.
The shorts is good enough.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the fact that Toy Story 3 was kind of the, life or death and, the transitioning and the evolution and, the tearjerker one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did really well with it. So
absolutely.
And then, of course, there's Transformers Prime, Oh, I'm sorry. Transformers: Robots in Disguise version 2.0. They're gonna revisit the old Prime cast in the show, which so far only has Bumblebee.
Yeah, it only has Will Friedle at this point. They do have other voices announced as two of the new characters. Everybody online was saying, "Oh, the red one's Knockout. The red one's Knockout. Yay!" No, the red one is not Knockout. The red one is Sideswipe, which I'm happy about. I'm interested to see how they do it. So, I mean, we got a nice little preview of it, and it looks, fairly cool. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll be happy with it as long as Batman still voices Bumblebee, which he will.
Yeah.
Which he will.
I mean, what else is he doing?
Well,
I don't mean it to be rude. But...
Yeah, well, there's not really rumors, but there's speculation going around that there's a reason why Eric Matthews has not returned for Girl Meets World yet. But when he does, Michael Jacobs, the creator, has said when he does, it's going to be awesome. And somebody asked him, so who's going to be doing the Feeney call? He said only Eric can do the Feeney call. So there's a little bit of rumors that Will might return for Girl Meets World. I don't know if I've seen him say anything about doing it at all. But yeah, I mean, hey, at least Bumblebee has a voice. Happy about that.
Well, I guess he's also in Green Arrow TV series. Did you even know there was one?
No.
He plays Green Arrow. It's animated.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it other than that.
Head to the comments and I'll do some research.
Well, I got it pulled up on IMDb. Kevin Michael Richardson plays Bo. Kerry Walgren's Black Canary. Will Friedle's Green Arrow. It looks like only 3 episodes have been produced, and says it's for this year. So
that's interesting.
But I don't see anything of. I don't even know where it was released, if it ever was, or if this is actually legit information. Because it's acting like it was already done.
Well, yeah. Let's see.
This release is April 16th, 2014.
Were these? I'm trying to think if these were shorts or not. I don't remember.
That could be. I mean, they very well could be, and that's probably why it's like that. But, and I do know that if Eric Matthews comes back, it'll be in season 2.
Oh yeah,
Girl Meets World.
Yeah, because
and I guess the Morgan, the one that plays Morgan on there, the original one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she might be back in season 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean they're already done with season 1 on production, so.
And Feeney said he might come back for season 2.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he's in his 90s.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So yeah. Quick on the comments. Ryan Hannity says he saw the Flash trailer, was not the biggest fan, just felt cheap, hoping it gets better. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it gets better. Art Danner bashed us for our Guardians of the Galaxy comments, as well as our dislike of musicals.
You know what? Everybody has a right to like or dislike whatever the hell they want. It's just not musicals. And see, when I say musicals, I mean like live action stuff. I don't mean like Disney films, because we all know Disney films are all musical based anyway. I mean like live action stuff. Like, I have zero connection to Mary Poppins or The Sound of Music. Zero whatsoever. I watched Mary Poppins like 5 times when I was a kid, and I've never seen it since. So
Unlike like Willy Wonka and Wizard of Oz, for instance, those I'm okay with.
yeah, Wizard of Oz I'm fine with. Willy Wonka, it's all
The
right.
original.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
original's
it's
good.
all right.
But yeah, and then of course there's South Park. Somebody mentioned that Eric Hutchinson mentioned South Park the movie. It's a musical, and then Kevin says Broadway music themed movies, TV shows can be so good at times. King of Kongs mentions that he tends to buy music on Amazon, which includes CDs, physical and digital at the same time. Go ahead.
Well, I usually I resort to Amazon if I can't find it on iTunes. I tried Amazon Music once, and there was one track that sounded so low I had to turn my speakers all the way up to even hear it. Since then, Amazon has improved on this, but I don't know. I've been using iTunes for as long as I can remember, so I'm pretty much set in my ways when it comes to that.
Yep. And then the last comment was from Justin Washington saying, great episode. Congrats on getting to 50. And he took issue with the debacle about the Edgar Wright, Ant-Man, Josh Whedon Adventures 2. We were corrected. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Right.
So we were the ones with the ignorance. So we bow before superior presence on that one. So
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
we're not worthy. No, it's always nice to be corrected though if we're completely full of crap. So anyways, that I think wraps it up this week. And before we go, I did mention I was going to give a teaser of something to come for Altered Geek.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a revival of the video show.
Oh, very cool.
Which will also be weekly, but I'm not sure. It'll be probably a lot less structured. It'll be more random than here.
Yeah.
In other words, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about.
Weren't you supposed to do before and afters of your house for that show?
Yeah, we're still completing areas of it. The gist is we're gonna. I have all the before. I just need to get current pictures of everything after it's been cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Which will probably be tomorrow or Sunday, because we're still reassembling parts of rooms that we are waiting on pieces for. But plus, Mary had to decorate, so there is that. So yeah, there'll be pictures of that. I probably will get that video through next week, just so that I can kind of either that or it'll be backlogged for sometime mid-August. But yep, so that about rounds it up. So if you'd like to get a hold of us on the show, there are many ways to do so. You can email us, feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can visit the episode post on the website. You can get a hold of us on Twitter @GeekCastRadio, #AlteredGeek. You can find us on the Facebook fan page by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Be sure to leave us iTunes feedback, please. That would be awesome. Love the feedback. My Twitter handle is @SCP21, and yours is, sir?
TFG1 Mike.
So, thank you as always for joining us here on Altered Geek Unlimited. So, as always, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks. See you next time.
Dude, you've turned into a monster.
You made me this way.
I noticed you need to, when you have the time.
Never again leave this city.
That was never a condition of our arrangement, nor was giving Han to this bounty hunter.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
Furthermore, I wish you to wear this dress and bonnet.
This was never a condition of our
I
arrangement.
have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Man, this deal's getting worse all the time.
Here is a unicycle. You will ride it wherever you go.
What? I'm not riding the fucking unicycle.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
Also, you are to wear these clown shoes and refer to yourself as Mary.
Oh, you, man. I'm not doing it.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal is very fair, and I'm happy to be a part of it.